everyone to another episode of Mumbles. Today we will be doing another game review. And the game that I have chosen to review today is REUS. Now this is another one of those planet building, habitat building, gotta keep people happy, gotta manage that, resource management type games. But it puts a little bit of a different twist on things. Instead of you just being the overlord, I guess you could say, there's different gods of the land that you control. For example, there's a water god, there's a rock monster, there is a swamp monster, and a forest monster. You combine all their powers to give everyone the nicest habitat that you can to live in. But there is a couple twists that REUS puts on this whole thing that make it really unique. Now, REUS costs $14.99 on the PlayStation 4 store, and it costs $9.99 on the Steam store. I'm reviewing this today on PlayStation 4, so either console that you want it on, go ahead and check that out. Now let's talk about the meat and bones of REUS. First off, graphics in this game are really charming. The developers did a great job on making something that is enjoyable to look at. Even when the planet that you start out on is bare, it's still very pretty. Now the soundtrack in this game, for the most part, is very subdued, very buildy type music, and it's just nice little music. It really sets the mood correctly for the game, which is always a plus in my department. Now controls. Now again, reviewed this on the PlayStation 4. So controls will be different from the PC or the Xbox One. The controls in this game on PlayStation 4, at first glance, are a little confusing. They have a nice tutorial in the game, which is always a plus. And they tell you how to do everything. But before you learn the controls, it's really confusing. Once you get a hang of them and you get over that steep learning curve, the controls are easier to use. But starting, nope. So now, what is REUS? Unlike other resource management games out there, REUS asks you to take control of 4 giants. The rock giant, ocean giant, forest giant, and swamp giant. And you use them to place down territories, to place down food, to place down animals, to place down all different kinds of things. As they do this, people will move into those regions, and you will have to basically keep them happy. Unlike other resource management / building games though, REUS puts this in confined territory. The swamp area only is so big. The rock area is only so big. The forest area is only so big. The ocean is only so big. So you have to really manage your resources and figure out what you need in each place to keep them happy. This is also added to the fact that REUS restarts after 30 minutes real life time in the main game mode of this game. Now there is an extended game mode which gives you an hour to 2 hours of game time, but it always restarts. So you have to get relatively good by way of trial and error, unless you look online. Now this might not sound very hard to many gamers out there, but it is difficult because REUS also introduces the synchronization system. What is this? It's this simple. Placing one kind of animal next to a certain kind of plant will give you more of a boost than placing something else next to something else. You basically have to play off of what each thing is good with in order to make your villagers happy, get them to upgrade, and hopefully keep them from going to war with anybody else out there. The ultimate goal in this game is to get everyone to work together and build the best world that you can using your giants. But until you figure out what you're doing and what's going on, it's a relatively difficult experience. So that's how REUS really differs from other resource management / building games out there. It puts a lot more constraints and asks you to do a lot more with a lot less that other games don't ask you to do. So what are the cons of this game? The first con is the lack of space. When you're building things and when you're managing your resources, or if a certain faction asks you, hey, we want you to get 10 more technology. It's like, okay, now I have to pull down a row of animals in order to replace that with money and technology, and I have to do this, and this. If you don't get it right to start with, you're not going to get it right at all because the land is so smushed together. So I kind of wish they would have made some kind of option or something to upgrade that could have made your lane a couple spaces bigger. I would even go as far as to say if they could have made it, you know, that it like takes, I don't know, 10 minutes in game time to build that, I would have been okay with that. Because really, it is very tightly scrunched together in this area. And I know it was made that way on purpose, but I still consider it a con. So the second con in this game is simply that it has a steep learning curve. Basically, the player is asked to go on a cycle of die, learn from your mistakes, do better. Die, learn from your mistakes, do better. Die, learn from your mistakes, and do better. Not that you actually die in this game, but once your civilization is done and you've had that 30 minutes time, I kind of consider it a death because you don't ever get to see that civilization again. You can go on beyond that, but you don't gain anything from it. So there's really no point in continuing the experience. Now, the final con is, quite simply, repetitive game is repetitive. Now, by this I mean, it's repetitive. You do the same thing over and 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 over. The coolness factor of the giants that are put in the game only lasts for so long, and then you're like, man, I wish this guy could walk 5 feet a little bit faster because I only got so much time. Even with the pause menu on, I only got so much time. So I'm scrunched for time. Let's hurry up. Let's get it done. Let's do it. And it just, you know, it gets repetitive. Now, the only thing left to ask is what is REUS gonna get on our Mumbles game review? This game is good. I like it, but the lack of space really kind of did my head in. It has a very unique spin on a resource management game that I really like a lot. But I just wish they could have done a little bit more with it. With that being said, there is nothing wrong with this game. It's a good game. It'll give you hours of fun. If you love games like this, you're gonna love this game. But compared to some other resource management games out there, this game just kind of misses that mark. So REUS, you get a 6 out of 10. Awesome game, check it out. It's definitely worth the price. I definitely recommend it. It's a great game for kids. It's a great game for, you know, anybody out there like that who just likes those kind of games. So definitely check it out. Anyways, guys, this has been another episode of Mumbles. I want to thank y'all so much for joining me. Please smack that subscribe button, smack that like button, smack all those buttons. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye, everyone. Take care.